All right, I'm here with Chase Pami. Chase has recently announced his retirement from wrestling. Still going to stay involved with the sport, obviously, and we're just here to talk a little bit about that and what your plans are for the future.
Yeah, so it's been 23 years I've been competing and 9 years on the international level, and it has been quite a ride. Never thought I would take wrestling this far. I was born in Las Vegas and had dreams to wrestle in college, and never would have thought I'd be 32 years old and still competing. But honestly, it came to a point to where I was just ready to be done. Honestly and candidly, I remember years back, hearing a conversation about, and if there's anyone that's in the military, please forgive me for butchering this if I don't say it right. But basically, I remember briefly, guy was talking about soldiers when they're in the military and they're out fighting, and the adrenaline rush that you get, and kind of that adrenaline rush, and kind of that awareness that you have out there to fight keeps you focused. And when you lose that, you know that it's time to step out. And I can remember 2 months ago at the US Open, and honestly losing, and it didn't really hurt, and I didn't have that adrenaline rush to come back. I didn't have that adrenaline rush like I did before, and to me, that was a big indicator that, hey, this might be time. I'd done it for a while, and I was thankful. I trained hard. I did everything to be ready for it. But honestly, mentally, physically, I was ready to be done. And then on the other piece of it, there's just other ventures and things that I wanted to do. Sometimes you get very, it's challenging because as an athlete, right, you're doing this full time. It's very easy to get selfish and get very easy going after what your goals, and sometimes you kind of forget about helping other people and doing other things for people along the way. But there's always that challenge of how to marry those, and how to be able to do both those things effectively. And I have a big heart to help people, and I felt like I was just ready to make an investment in right now, in the college guys, and really in the youth, and help wrestlers, help USA help USA continue to become one of the best wrestling countries in the world, and consistently year in and year out, become the best wrestling country in the world.
Yeah. So you are going to be transitioning into a bit of a new role. Can you talk a little bit about that and what that is going to entail?
Yep. So I got here 3 years. It's been about 3 years ago now, and when I did move here, I was full-time athlete, and then I moved into the director of operations role at Penn, at the University of Pennsylvania here, and then 2 years ago I moved into the role as a volunteer assistant, which was exciting, and I will continue in that role as a volunteer assistant coach, but then alongside of that, we have the Pennsylvania Regional Training Center, which encompasses really Drexel and Penn. We have that unique situation, that unique relationship. And so Coach Brandon Slay is the executive director and the head coach, and I will also move into an assistant coaching role with him, and help out with operational things, help out with coaching some of the guys that we have already a part of it, and part of and helping coach guys that are coming into the program. So that's an exciting role for me. I've been a part of this. Obviously, I think I've been able to embody what the PRTC is about. I've really learned what it's about and lived it. So I think it makes it a little bit more easier for me to inspire and help the guys that are coming in as athletes.
So can you talk about how unique it is to be able to fill that position? Because there's a lot of RTCs out there that don't even have a full-time head coach, and you guys are going to have a head coach, and they're going to have you as an assistant.
Yeah, I think it is a really unique opportunity. I think it's a really cool opportunity, but really with the Pennsylvania Regional Training Center, I think one of the things that makes every regional it's great for the sport of wrestling, and I'm excited to see all the RTCs that have popped up, and each one has their things that they're very good at, their niches. And one thing here that I really have valued, and when I made my decision to come here, I was later on in my career. 3 years ago, I was 29 years old, and I knew I was going to be getting out of wrestling. So part of coming here and being part of this was the access to the network at Penn, the network at Drexel, and be able to help launch me into kind of that next phase of my life. And so one of the things the PRTC does a great job of is really setting guys up not only just to be great in wrestling, to be champions in wrestling, but really champions outside of wrestling. We really value kind of that whole person, and we understand here, the coaches understand as an organization, we understand the importance of, hey, one day, you're going to retire and you're going to be done, and having that opportunity to really step into a career, a successful career. Some people want to stay in wrestling, which is great, and coach and continue to do that things, but there's also a lot of guys out there who want the opportunity to, whether it's, go into business or go into the medical field or, go into education or different things. And I think we do a really great job of creating those doors and those opportunities. For example, just one thing off the bat is our mentorship program that we have for our college guys, but also for our senior level guys as well. I've had a business mentor since I've been here that is I've been able to talk to on a month-to-month basis and help me kind of prepare myself for when I was done here.
So, I think you said 23 years?
23 years.
23 years in the sport. What has USA Wrestling meant to you over the course of those 23 years?
Yeah, and so, USA Wrestling, as I said in my post, on my Instagram, at Chase Pami, I did talk about the people that I'm really thankful for, and USA Wrestling is one of them. Real quick, along with USA Wrestling, Sunkiss Kids, who was phenomenal, the Martoris, Kim Martori, Art Martori, Sue Martori, who were very instrumental in helping me fund me all this time, and then USA Wrestling for giving me the opportunity. I lived in Colorado for 4 years as a resident athlete. Bill Zadok was around, and Zeke Jones, and of course Brandon Slay. But USA Wrestling created the opportunity to allow guys like myself to do this. To allow guys to be the best in the world, and there's a lot that goes into that. Finding the competition schedule. If anyone knows, people understand, but it is really difficult year in and year out to figure out just a minute thing of the competition schedule, because it's always changing, and UWW is doing different things and trying to manage all those things. So USA Wrestling has allowed me to really go to these tournaments and be a part of national team camps and put on national team camps and allow me to continue to get better. And so I'm so thankful for that opportunity. I wouldn't be where I am, if it wasn't for USA Wrestling and how it's helped out,
So you're in a pretty unique position where you've trained in California, you're from Nevada, you've been in Colorado Springs, you've been in Pennsylvania. Do you think that's changed how you look at the sport, or, at least, obviously shaped you in some way?
Yeah, so I've been around great coaches all along the way. I was thinking about it, and some of the coaches that have coached me from Las Vegas, my high school coaches and my club coaches, and then going to Cal Poly and having John Azevedo, who's an Olympian, be my head coach for a while, and then Matt Azevedo, who's now the head coach at Drexel, was my assistant, our assistant coach for a while and coached me, and then had guys like Sammy Henson who were in there, and Joe Heskett, who were there, and then moving to Colorado and being around, Bill Zadok, Brandon Slay, Zeke Jones, and then you have all the greats that were at national team camps, from the Brands and John Smith and Cale Sanderson and learning little bits from those guys along the way, and then moving to Illinois and being around the University of Illinois and Coach Heffernan there, and Jeremy and Mark Perry, and learning from those guys, and so taking a little bit from each place I've been, and then moving here to Pennsylvania and working with Coach Slay, and then going up to New York RTC and working with Kendall Cross, or going down to NC State and working with guys down there. We've been to all these different places, and so I've just had the opportunity, kind of in the locations I've been, to go to other RTCs and train with other RTCs and learn from so many different coaches. And I think that's what I haven't had maybe the success of some other guys. Obviously you go for that, but think one of the other things that's truly helped me in my knowledge and my skill and my IQ of wrestling and my technical understanding is all the different places I've been around and all the little pieces that I've been able to kind of put together along the way, which is really cool. I mean, I look at it now and I'm like, man, I helping guys out and things like that, and I'm like, wow, I actually kind of, you know a lot. It's like, wow, you don't realize it when you're an athlete, all the things that you learned along the way.
So any parting thoughts as Chase the competitor before transitioning into Chase the coach?
Oh man, I've thought about this. I've thought about what this interview would be like for years, what I'd put on Instagram and all this kind of stuff and what I would say, and I'm still trying to figure everything out. I mean, I guess for me it's last thing I say is it's kind of a storybook ending for me. I started. I love Las Vegas. Everyone that knows me knows that's what I talk about. I love that city. I'm from there, and I'm just enjoy everything about it. So to get to start there 23 years ago, and I always make the story. My mom brought me to some random wrestling tournament, knew nobody, and kind of just threw me in, and we figured it out as we went. And she found coaches at the tournament, and then 23 years later, just 10 miles down the road to the South Point Casino where we have the U.S. Open, I got to kind of say I got to kind of walk away on my own terms, but in my city, and that was just in my own way, even though no one else in the crowd knew that's kind of like, hey, what was happening, but in my own special moment, my own special way, just kind of getting to sit there afterwards and process. I lost the match, right? Which was funny. I lost to a fellow regional training center athlete and one of my close friends, Dan Valamonten. So I kind of thought, you know what? I lost to one of my close friends, one of my closest friends in the city that I love. And I just kind of sat there for that hour, just taking it all in and kind of accepting that, again, I didn't know going into it that it was going to be done, but kind of accepting that I think this is it. I think I'm ready to walk away in this moment. It was a special moment for myself, So I guess not a parting thought, but just kind of a parting, again, just storybook ending for myself. And lastly, again, I thanked USA Wrestling and thanked Sunkist and again, thankful to the Pennsylvania RTC for giving me this option, this opportunity. It's such a great organization to be a part of. Again, like I said, we have Penn and Drexel, and then we have we call it the Philadelphia wrestling ecosystem here with Penn, Drexel, and Beat the Streets. You put all those organizations together, and it really creates something unique, something exciting. And so as it continues to be built out, it's going to be exciting to see really where that goes. But I'm thankful that they allowed me to kind of brought me in at kind of the base level of this. And as it continues to grow, it's exciting. And, so thank you to the PRTC and, everyone involved in that as well. So.
All right. Thanks, Chase.
You're welcome.